The night of June 19, 2024, will forever be etched in hip-hop history. Not just as another concert, not just as a gathering of fans, but as a cultural event that sent waves through the entire rap world. Kendrick Lamar, one of the most influential voices of his generation, hosted his Ken and Friends pop-out concert on Juneteenth at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, Los Angeles. What happened that night was far bigger than music. It was about reclaiming history, unifying a culture, and reshaping the narrative of modern hip-hop. Welcome to Celebrity Rap Life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in Celebrity Rap Life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. For months prior, the rap game had been shaken by an intense feud between Kendrick Lamar and Toronto's own Drake. Diss tracks were flying back and forth, social media was ablaze with debates, and fans worldwide had been divided into camps. But on this particular night, the energy was different. No longer was it about petty squabbles or chart positions. Kendrick had chosen Juneteenth for a reason. This was about Black freedom, Black resilience, and Black excellence. It was about the culture, and Kendrick was about to remind everyone of who truly represented it. From the moment the doors opened, the energy was electric. Thousands of fans, artists, and industry figures flooded into the venue, each knowing they were about to witness something unforgettable. This was more than a show, it was a statement. Kendrick's decision to call it the Ken and Friends pop-out was intentional. It wasn't just about him, it was about community. It was about giving a platform to the artists who have shaped the West Coast sound, those who have stood by him, and those who continue to push the culture forward. And when the lights finally dimmed, the crowd erupted. The air buzzed with anticipation. The stage design itself was stripped down yet powerful, a wide-open space that allowed every artist to move freely, connect with the crowd, and let the music speak for itself. No gimmicks. No distractions. Just raw talent. Kendrick opened the night with a chilling a cappella version of Not Like Us, his brutal diss track aimed squarely at Drake. The entire arena chanted every word back to him. It wasn't lost on anyone that fans across the world, including those in Toronto, were now begging for Kendrick's music, proof that the track had become an anthem far bigger than the feud itself. From that first moment, Kendrick set the tone. This night was about pride, unity, and strength. As Kendrick performed hit after hit, DNA, Alright, King Kunta, the stage quickly became a revolving door of surprises. One of the first to join him was J-Rock, making a surprise entrance that sent the crowd into a frenzy. When the opening notes of Money Trees rang out, a collective wave of joy swept through the audience. For many, this was a healing moment. The song, a West Coast classic, felt even more powerful that night, reminding everyone of the roots and soul of this culture. Seeing J-Rock and Kendrick side by side again hit deep, a visual representation of friendship, loyalty, and resilience. As the night unfolded, it became clear that Kendrick wasn't simply performing a setlist. He was curating a journey through hip-hop's past, present, and future. One of the most emotional highlights came when Black Hippy, the legendary collective of Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, and Ab-Soul, reunited on stage. Fans had long speculated about whether the group would ever come together again in such a way, and when it finally happened, the arena nearly exploded. The chemistry between the four was undeniable, and the crowd soaked in every moment. That reunion wasn't just nostalgia. It was a reminder of an era when lyricism, authenticity, and brotherhood were at the forefront of West Coast hip-hop. And in that moment, it felt like time had frozen. Fans old and new witnessed a piece of history, one that would be talked about for years to come. Then came one of the night's most unforgettable moments, the entrance of Tyler, the Creator. The lights dimmed, and a thunderous bass line rumbled through the arena. Suddenly, Tyler appeared, bringing his signature chaotic energy to the stage. His performance was electric, unpredictable, and full of life, everything fans have come to expect from him. Tyler's ability to command the stage was unmatched, and seeing him align with Kendrick on this night only reinforced the night's theme of unity and creative freedom. Throughout the show, Kendrick made sure the spotlight wasn't just on him. He brought out rising stars from the LA scene, paying homage to the younger generation carrying the torch. Each guest performance felt intentional, a piece of the larger narrative Kendrick was crafting. It wasn't about ego. It was about celebrating artistry in all its forms. And while the show celebrated the West Coast, the undercurrent of the night, that ongoing feud with Drake, wasn't ignored. In fact, Kendrick leaned into it with precision. Throughout the concert, subtle jabs and not-so-subtle moments reminded everyone of the current state of the rap game. Fans, even those who once championed Drake, were chanting, "Not like us," with a fervor that seemed to transcend the music. It was clear, Kendrick wasn't just winning the battle on wax, he had won the hearts of the culture. The juxtaposition couldn't be clearer. On one side, Kendrick was uniting the culture, putting on for his city, and creating moments that felt historic. On the other, Toronto's very own superstar had to watch, even from his own backyard, as his city begged for the very track that had once been aimed at him. The irony was rich, and it wasn't lost on anyone. As the night reached its final moments, Kendrick took a step back and addressed the crowd. He spoke of Juneteenth, the importance of remembering history, and the power of coming together. It was a poignant reminder that this night was about more than music. It was about community. It was about resilience. It was about Black history and Black excellence. When Kendrick closed the show, the energy in the arena was unlike anything most had ever experienced. Fans poured into the streets of Inglewood, buzzing with excitement, knowing they had witnessed something far greater than a typical concert. In the days and weeks that followed, clips from the pop-out flooded social media. Fans from around the world celebrated the night, and even a year later, its impact was still being felt. Toronto fans, once loyal to Drake, had found themselves unable to deny the power of "Not Like Us." The culture had shifted, and Kendrick had cemented his place not just as an elite MC, but as a unifying figure in hip-hop. Reflecting on that night now, 1 year later, it's clear that the pop-out was a turning point. It was a moment when Kendrick chose to take control of the narrative, not just in his beef with Drake, but in the larger story of hip-hop. And he did it by doing what he's always done best, bringing people together, speaking truth through his art, and staying true to his roots. J-Rock's performance of "Money Trees" still resonates with fans, its soulful energy healing and inspiring. The Black Hippy reunion reminded everyone of the power of brotherhood in this often competitive industry. And Tyler, the creator's entrance remains one of the most exciting moments in recent hip-hop memory, a display of creative energy that can't be manufactured. Looking back, Kendrick's choice to host the pop-out on Juneteenth was no accident. It was deliberate. He wanted to tie his music, his city, and his community to something larger, the ongoing story of Black freedom and excellence. And in doing so, he created a night that transcended beef, transcended industry politics, and gave hip-hop something to be proud of. Even today, when fans look at what's happening in the culture, from new music to ongoing debates, the shadow of that night still looms large. Kendrick reminded everyone what true artistry looks like. He reminded everyone that hip-hop, at its best, is about more than hits or social media trends. It's about truth. It's about community. And it's about pushing the culture forward. As another Juneteenth arrives, the legacy of the Ken and Friends pop-out stands tall. It wasn't just another concert. It was a moment in time. A moment when Black history was honored. A moment when the culture was united. And a moment when Kendrick Lamar once again showed why he stands among the greatest to ever do it. Happy Juneteenth. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.